Welcome to Ascend Growth AI podcast. I'm Nikki, and today I'm excited to introduce Kevin Valle. Kevin is the kind of leader who understands what it takes to grow a company in the home services and construction space, from building trust with clients to solving real operational challenges in the field. Today, we're diving into his journey, his leadership mindset, and how he sees AI shaping the future of customer growth, service excellence, and capturing lost opportunities. Let's jump in. Kevin, tell us about your company and your journey to building it.
Yeah. Wow. Yes, I'm a company. We're a window cleaning company. So window services, window cleaning is our bread and butter. And we offer, myriad of external service or exterior services for homes or businesses, whether it's pressure washing, gutter cleaning, soft washing, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, window cleaning is a business. A quick rundown. I mean, I think most my adult life has been in some level of service. So just all of it has felt kind of a continuation or a level of compounding of service. So I had a pleasure of being in the Army National Guard for 6 years. I was a paramedic firefighter for 5, a college pastor for like 2 or 3, and then now almost 2 years of owning the window cleaning company. And yeah, started as an owner operator, had my one territory here in Bryan, College Station, Texas, where Texas A&M is. Most people, that's what they associate it with. But then just most recently acquired 4 more territories, San Antonio, New Braunfels area. So yeah, we're just trying to build not necessarily the largest window cleaning company, but hopefully the best, one of the best. So it's been a lot of fun.
Good. What originally drew you to this industry?
Man, that's a great question. I mean, I always have to start, by saying just the Lord, honestly. The Lord's been good to my family and I have a wife and 4 kids, but I really would say what captured my attention was the brand, just the branding. If anyone's ever seen our Instagram, our website, just like our uniform, you can't see the whole getup, but we got socks, checkered Vans, Chucks, really going for that kind of timeless 1950s look. I was actually talking to a gentleman at Jersey Mike's, and I think I said something like, yeah, we're kind of that 1950s look. And he's like, oh man, you make me feel old. I said, well, you don't have to be from the 50s in order to, have this kind of nostalgic um, feel, it really is, it's been really awesome to see the impact of that. But yeah, I'd say the brand primarily is what first got me, and really just when we visited the team, met the founders, who've become really good friends of ours. I mean, they just, awesome men of God, awesome guys, close to my age, and we have a lot of overlap in some of our friend circles. And so, really, just with each moment of getting closer to the franchise and the brand, realized, okay, this is what we feel like the Lord's calling us to do. So my wife and I prayed about it and had peace, and so we jumped in. So yeah, that's really what got into it. Like I said, service has always just been there, so it felt just kind of in line with what I've done.
It's very important to work with people that you have a connection with and being like minded and having your Christ based leadership. I think that's amazing.
Mm,
Absolutely
appreciate it.
makes
Yeah.
it a lot easier because we all deal with stuff, but when you're dealing with it from the same perspective or the same heart motive, it makes
hmm
everything that you go through a lot easier. How would you describe your leadership style today?
I'm trying to think back on some of the in the last recent in the last recent years, or most recent years, some of those kind of personality and different assessment tests. I'm totally blanking on them. I did one called like a culture index. I'm trying to remind myself of what my result was. But I guess what I'm hoping to achieve, because I've said to some of my people recently, my employees, I said, hey, just because I own a business or have multiple territories, that doesn't make me a good boss. It doesn't make me a great leader just inherently. Just like having a wife and kids doesn't make me a present or great father or husband. And so I'd like to think my hope is, I say the washing of windows, right? I want to wash the feet of people in my community, whether it's my employees or customers or clients, and just referral partners and all the networking. And so my leadership style, I hope to lead from the front. I know how to not say the cliche things. It's like, hey, I'm not above anything. I'm thankful for the way I started. It was just me and one of my employees, and I was out there cleaning windows and I was selling jobs. And to see in the last couple of years the amount of people we've gotten to bring in, different skill sets, the different levels of management, the different employees and the different skill set. Yeah, it's been super humbling to see, okay, there's people I believe getting behind the vision or getting behind at least the heart of what we're doing and serving the community. Because I honestly don't feel like we're selling anything. I feel like we're just serving. So yeah, I don't know if I have one like line, but I hope I can show my guys leading from the front that I'll get in there with them. And I think back to when I left my house at 17. That's all I did. I just worked different jobs, odd jobs, these jobs, blue collar or whatever. And I think that you kind of have that, man, I kind of wish somebody would have looked at me at 17, 18, 19, 20 and kind of said, hey, you need help. And how can I help develop you? Right. And so big heart of mine. I tell my new employees or even in their first interview is like, hey, meet my team and see the fruit of the company we're building. And my hope is that I can just develop young men. I guess that's kind of how I'm hoping to lead.
It's very great. Who is your ideal customer for your company?
Everyone. Yeah, I mean, if you live in a house, if you work at a building with windows, I mean, really, it's like we can take care of anybody. There's some businesses we clean that have two windows. There's houses and country clubs and city halls that we've cleaned that have hundreds of windows. So I truly believe we could service about anybody. But yeah, homeowners, business owners, we kind of do it all at this point.
What geographic areas do you currently serve?
Yeah, so Bryan College Station, and then a couple surrounding areas. If you're familiar with Central Texas, but we got Hearn and we go to Navasota or Brenham. Those are some of the smaller little cities around us. And then now that I own San Antonio, New Braunfels, we're about to hopefully launch New Braunfels next month. So that's, I guess, an extension of Central Texas. So yeah, that's where we're at right now, kind of Central San Antonio.
What are the biggest trends you're seeing in construction and home in the home service space right now?
Yeah, trends. Man, the types of windows. I really feel, I mean, again, there's totally the Lord leading us to the business, but it's funny to see. And I really want to do actually a deep dive. I don't know when the era was of like French pane windows. I feel like that, is kind of a more older generation. And we still see a lot of those homes that we service. And then there's kind of the era of my homes, kind of maybe those homes in the 60s and beyond, whether it was single pane, getting into the double pane, kind of two sets. Whereas now, what I feel like I've been seeing is big windows. I mean, commercial fronts, homes, even. I mean, they have these 10 to 20-foot height windows and usually like walls of windows, which are beautiful, but can easily get dirty. They all have those big kind of metal frames. So it's pretty wild to see different developments, whether it's commercial spaces or retail spaces, homes, they kind of have all those big square or rectangular windows. And so I feel really blessed that the development and construction in homes and all that's going towards bigger windows that are much higher, harder for a homeowner to tell me, well, I'll just, get my Windex and sponge or whatever. So hopefully, by no means are we an essential service per se, although I do feel like we're necessary. I tell people we're a mandatory service, not a luxury service, but that's kind of part of the pitch. But yeah, that's kind of maybe one of the trends I've been seeing with windows.
Do you prefer the bigger windows are they easier or are they harder? Because if you got a line on that, you see it, right? Are bigger windows easier to clean?
Yes. I mean, again, it depends, right? Not all windows are created equal, but you could say even easier in showing you what your mistake was.
Yeah.
Really the most helpful tool is the sun. It can be, you get the right light on there, it will humble you pretty quick. Or that phone call the next day at 2 p.m. They're like, hey, I'm just trying to enjoy my coffee and I see a smudge. So
Right.
regardless, it keeps us humble and honest.
Right.
So
Yeah.
big or
Those
small.
touch those touch ups. How are those trends impacting your own growth strategy right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say something that I've really tried to adopt is creating, I'm a high relationship person. Kind of told people in the beginning and hopefully still saying it now as our team grows. The cool of the night, right? Where you don't see us, you don't know who you are, and we just kind of come, clean the windows, and leave. It's like we're probably not going to be a great fit. I want to build relationships with people. I want to build bonds with people, and I'm not saying I got to know your whole life story per se, but so I'd say that goes the same way with some of our referral partners or a lot of builders or property managers, construction managers, like people that are doing a lot of those builds. Like, hey, how can I build relationships with them? Because I mean, those people are working, long days. So it's not like they're probably just out at some ribbon cutting or networking event. Probably most usually, taking care of problems. We're going through renovation right now and there's always something going on, right? Contractors always needing you or homeowners always needing you. So yeah, I'd say just trying to build those relationships really well and take care of them and let them know that, hey, we can do as best we can to fit you guys in, right? Because that's also, they have punch lists and it's like, hey, we have this thing going on next week. It's like, okay, what can we do to make it happen? So yeah, I'm just trying to capitalize on those relationships for sure.
What are you doing to adapt or stay ahead of those changes?
I'd say big thing staffing. Make sure we have enough, the right kind of guys. Like you said kind of earlier, quality's there, but then we just have like we want to not all clients are equal in that their priority is the same. I don't care if you have a $500,000 home, $50,000 home, $5 million home. We want everyone to get the same caliber of service, and so just because one client might have a really big job, well, I still need enough people to cover our routine monthly, what we call our buds plan, or we have kind of buds team family plans, recurring maintenance plans. It's like, hey, everyone needs to have priority. And so just make sure we have enough and the right guys to properly staff jobs and keep up that way is probably the main way, I'd say, for sure.
How is AI currently being used in your business today?
Yeah, it's funny. You actually just got done with a meeting with somebody. I'd say a way that I am doing it currently right now, we're really been testing it with Google reviews. So kind of like I said, we want to build relationships with people. And so that's from when you call or fill out our form to a quote, to the job, to getting invoice, to the end, right? We want everyone from that whole time to have a great process, great journey. And so typically, just like we don't invoice till we're done with the job, right? We have some people like, oh, can I just give you a check now when I do a quote? It's like, no, well, let's wait till we do the job. Similarly, never really ask for a review till we feel like, hey, we hit our mark and the customer is satisfied. And so one simple way we've been doing that is, and I know more enough to maybe sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know enough because I'm sure someone could pick this apart. But learning about just those API keys, learning certain triggers and workflows to say, hey, when jobs are completed, can it trigger one thing to trigger next thing that sends a very personalized text? So although I drafted and crafted it, I'm not having to sit there and say, okay, who did we service yesterday? And can I text them and say, hey, here's the automate, here's the drafted text. It's, hey, those are already preloaded. So that's kind of one way we've been trialing it, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's from me. We did the job, but I'm no longer having just to sit there and copy, paste, type in the number, send the whole text. It's like, hey, now we have these kind of triggers that can say, hey, same person, same company, same heartfelt message, just automated in a way. So I'd say that's been a big way we've been doing it. It's been awesome and gaining more and more reviews.
Yeah, massive time saver.
Yeah, so it's been awesome. So there's a couple other ways we're looking into it, but I don't want the automated phone. I want my managers, my sales guys, me to be answering. I'm sure that could also save time, but that's where we start is that personal connection. And like I said, there's probably some accounts receivable we could do something similar, so we're not having to do that on our own. But yeah, a couple ways we're doing it.
What do you wish you were using AI for that you aren't using it for yet?
I would say, I mean, like kind of two things kind of came to mind. And I think this actually already exists. And it's just a matter of I probably need to just look into it and see how it works. But I know a lot of people in talking, at least in our services or in our industry, like routing, whether that's for actual jobs or even I'd say for quotes, like, hey, can you kind of create the routes, right? So for here in Bryan College Station, I mean, our drive times are probably 8 to 12 minutes. We're pretty spoiled here. I go to San Antonio, it's like, okay, you're on the road for at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes. I think as I've scaled, as I've gone into a different market, I've seen already differences in geographic maps and how it impacts. So I could probably be using that more, how to route better and make sure we're kind of creating consistent routes for my guys. So they're not kind of driving back and forth. That's probably one. And then I thought of something else, but I had someone talk to this about me once, but maybe some level of assistance with actual quoting. Again, I'm maybe lifting up the hood a little bit, but so, there's so many different ways people do it, whether time and motion, price per pain, but I do think there's a way it can keep getting built out to say, hey, what kind of size of home, size of windows, could you use some AI tools to maybe pull that again? It's hard because, there's some homes that are new construction, right? Like they're not even on Google Maps. Some of those roads aren't even on Google Maps. So again, I think that's going to be a little bit ahead of its time, but I could see that being a really effective tool and just helping get a very consistent kind of rubric. But then that'll be, then you really, it's like, can't just be the cheaper one. if everyone's using the same, it's, hey, what's going to separate your product and service? So, um, yeah.
What are you most proud of in your company with your growth or performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard for me not to say what I'm most grateful for, which I'm like proud of. Yeah, I mean, it's the people. I'd say that the people I have right now. I think every day my wife and I just feel humbled. Again, just being reminded. I mean, not even 2 years ago to be out there driving around by myself or with one guy and believing that we could build something worth something. Also, like, I was telling one of my new GMs, like, he's like, "Wow, I'm ready for cards. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that." It's like, yeah, that's great. Like, I also like didn't have a uniform. I didn't have business cards. I didn't have all the things, the first month because we were waiting to get everything in. And so I had my hat and I had a smile. And so, yeah, I just think as it's evolved and been developed the last couple of years, really humbled by the people that have said yes. I mean, I'm starting to employ people that have a wife or have children, and I think when it was just me, my wife, and kids, it's like, and a bunch of young guys, it's like, all right, well, not that they don't matter, that they're just as important, but you start employing people with families, you're like, okay, I need to be on my A game and build something that's good for families and a good place for people to keep growing. So that's what I feel most proud of or grateful for is just the people that have been building with us for sure, past and present.
Yeah, that's really neat. What is the biggest frustration that you're dealing with at this moment?
My biggest frustration is the season I'm in right now. I'm really needing and wanting to codify my systems and processes. That's not my strong suit. I can stay kind of high vision. I like to motivate. I love to talk. And what I've been continually learning, it's like, well, that's not what's gonna, what got me here won't necessarily get me there to the next thing. And so I can't just have things live in my head. And so been spending a lot of meetings recently, like, okay, how do I, do this? Let's get that out on paper. How do I do this? And so, yeah, really trying to do that. It's been pretty stretching, which sounds silly, but it's like a different type of energy exertion. And so it's not just like getting the things out, but then trying to build kind of the ecosystem that can, hold what I believe could come. So it's not just our 3, 4, 5 vans now. It's, hey, if we have 10, 15, 20 trucks, right? We had 50 techs, not just 15. Like, what needs to happen there? So that's been pretty stretching for sure.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to become a CEO or a business owner in this industry?
Just like go for it. Yeah, I think there's kind of different tracks into it. Not everyone's journeys are the exact same, but I think that for anyone that is even remotely like, hey, I think I could do that. I think for me, if it had been like a side hustle, I don't know if we would have gotten to where we're at right now. I think that just with life circumstance, it's kind of like, all right, we're kind of in a sense burning, or the ships have been burnt. There's no turning back. Think for my wife and I and our personalities and really just like the faith we had in the Lord, it was like, okay, do we trust him to do it? So a lot of prayer. But yeah, I'd say if you're in a sense want to bet on yourself, what better person to place a bet on? Not that I'm a betting man, but yeah, it's probably would encourage somebody, pray about it, seek wise counsel, and just go for it. And I think that's more than less. I'm like, hey, the Lord could either build it or burn it. But either way, I'm along for the ride. And, I want to grow as a person, as a leader, as an employer, but even as an employee. And so, yeah.
Where do you see the biggest opportunity to use AI to get more customers or streamline your operation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about some of the things that have probably already exist or maybe getting enhanced or developed. I don't know. That's hard because I can't help to like a big thing I think for our business or industry is marketing just in general. I know AI could get in there, but I'm like maybe learning. Well, yeah, I guess I could say that. I know there's some kind of AI tools out there on helping just like, you have what we call hustle marketing, right? I'm a door knock or put some hangers out or whatnot, network. And then you kind of have the digital space. You got the Meta, Facebook or Instagram, Google. But I know there's some developments just of how do you kind of find a new avenue, a new route of say canvassing or getting your business out there in a way that still gets in front of homeowners, so to speak. And so AI is hard for me to wrap my head around as a whole, but I can see a world where with the information age, digital space, I mean, it just unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, these devices really are very prevalent in everyone's life. And so I think if AI can get more in front of people in different, unique and creative ways that aren't weird or slimy, then that's probably going to help a lot of businesses if they get onto it.
What's the biggest win that stands out in your mind over the last 5 to 10 years?
I mean, I got married less than 10 years ago, so that's a pretty big win. We've had 4 kids since then, been married almost 8 years, so that's a massive win. Yeah, well, and I also, I mean, I'm young. I closed out my 20s a couple years ago, and so felt like a lot of my 20s was, or all my 20s was some level, like I said, public service between the military and fire. And so whether the Lord's called me for the next 10 years to be in the marketplace, it's kind of what my wife and I feel, whether that ends up being the case. And so I think, yeah, I just felt like closing out a season of like, okay, I've done different levels of service in these ways. And that felt like a win. Like, okay, not that I could never go back to those industries, but I probably won't. Thinking of this kind of new chapter going to my 30s, being in the marketplace, being in business, entrepreneurship, all the things. We're pretty excited for the foundations that were laid. The age of what our kids are, they're 6, 6, 4, and 2, and just getting to kind of hopefully be building an intentionally integrated life with them is part of our goals. So those are some wins and what we hope to keep building on.
Looking back now, what's the biggest thing you feel like you've learned through life that you've brought into this company?
Yeah, I feel like one of the things I've been encouraged with, it's funny, it's making me a little emotional, but I've been encouraged in these last couple years and just being in business. I think in the different industries I was in public service and all that, just really trying to really put people first. Even at the fire department, in our hierarchical tree, right, citizens was always at the top, like the citizens of that community. And so I think there was different things throughout my 20s and whatnot that just, hey, put, people oriented, people first. And, even in Pinks, I tell people I'm not in the window cleaning business. I'm in the people business. And you could say that about really, I think, any job or any sector industry. And so, yeah, I think that's been an easy transition for me. Like even go to people's homes, I feel comfortable, right? I used to be a 911 responder, so you're really stepping into people's worst, but understanding how to keep calm or kind of bring kind of order to chaos. And so that's been helpful. Honestly, as an operator, I know that there will be problems. Not will there be problems or not? And all right, Lord, how do we solve these problems today, or big or small? How do we bring some order to chaos? So I think those couple things have, I believe the Lord kind of helped develop in me and prepare me to attempt to build a business. So check in 5 years. We'll see if it worked out.
You've had multiple careers and experiences that have put you in a position to be a problem solver, ones of great magnitude. So, taking and culminating all of that, what are you focused on right now?
Well, I hope what I've continued to focus on, even since launching, but I really want to focus on my heart to then domino into my home and ideally a domino into the business and then our community and the city. And so, or now cities, I guess. So really, I just want to run our home well. It's kind of like run in a way, some people may not like this, but I'm like, okay, how do I run my home as kind of as a business, as a team? Can I create some rhythms and things, right? So my wife and I do check-ins, and we're about to go on our second annual marriage summit, right? We do kind of 4 sessions. So kind of implementing things I've learned in business and how do I bring that into the home for structure and rhythms and traditions. And similarly, like I tell my employees, like, hey, we're not family, but I care for you as family. So I want them to remember, hey, we are a team. This is your place of work. But then there's hopefully aspects of the family that I could implement as an employer. That is really, some of the things I really want to focus on this year as we're trying to lay down a foundation, bring on more people, bring on new people is okay. How do I not forsake family at all? Family is important, but at the same time, focus on the business like an extended part of the family. So
Making your ambition about making sure that everybody is taken care of correctly and allowing the business and all of that to grow itself is the really, I think that's the Christ-like focus that he was trying to implement to all of his disciples, right?
hmm,
Be in the heart, be with the people first, the rest will come.
yeah.
If people want to get in touch with you, can they find you?
Yeah. Where could you find my email? Kevin, pinkswindows.com. Not really on any social. I am on LinkedIn, so people reach out there, but I'd say email is probably the best. Slow to it, but I look at it.
Kevin, thank you for joining me today and sharing your journey with your heartfelt direction, your leadership insights, and your perspective on how to grow a company that's unique in a world full of ambition, striving people. And I think a lot of people will find value in how you want to do business and how you want to lead your company. It's
Oh,
actually fantastic.
I appreciate it, Niki. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. And if you got value from today's conversation, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time on Ascend Growth AI Podcast, where we mix smart growth moves with a little AI magic.